How's it going, everybody? This is JJ. I just wanted to do a quick little video before I start my grind today. I've been a little bit slow rolling, honestly, today. It's my second day off, and I did a group hunt yesterday for about 3 hours or so, and then I've been playing here and there this morning, so I've been trying to keep it moving. I'm actually grinding through the end of 9 stars right now. I'm on chapter 11, so I'm coming up on the Black Diablo Surgeon. I just beat, there's a couple of different ones that I beat. I beat 9-star Anjanath finally, and then I beat 9-star Coral Pukey, Azure Rathalos, and then 9-star Legiana or Legiana, whatever, however you say it. And now I'm getting pretty close to doing Black Diablos, and then I think Zinogre. There's like one more in between before Zinogre, if I'm not mistaken. But a couple little things. This DL Nerf is really hitting hard, man. I mean, everyone, I have never seen the community get so toxic as they started doing immediately after that DL Nerf. Like, everybody was complaining, and if they weren't complaining, they were fighting with each other, like on the main Monster Hunter Now page that I'm on. Not on mine, because mine's local. Mine's a Georgia group that I started pretty soon after I started the game, which was, you know, pretty much day one. It was always important to me to have group play, and it seemed important for the game to push group play. I just want to make sure it was still recording. Every time I seem to record something halfway decent, I am not recording or something stupid. You know? Get, cat. God damn. But I feel like it's so detrimental to the actual community itself. Even though, like, me and a buddy of mine, we were playing last night. We met up for a quick late night hunt for about 1 hour in my town of Auburn, Georgia. And he lives probably like 15-20 minutes away from me or so, maybe 30. But he came my way, which was nice because he was supposed to come to the morning event. And we were talking about stuff. Kit Kat, can you leave that alone, please? I would appreciate that. But we were talking about give me 1 second. Yeah, we were talking about like the reasoning behind, you know, Niantic and Capcom, and whether or not they actually like wanted to do that intentionally. If they, what we ended up coming to is we were talking about the core like player base and how many people play in different areas. And the one thing that I realized and he realized was that basically, like, the United States only makes up like 15% of the player base. The player base is mostly Japan and, like, I guess Taiwan and, you know, the Philippines, which I think anybody that knows Monster Hunter and where Monster Hunter originated from and how Monster Hunter was like a close second to like Pokemon in Japan and in that area, they would already know that that would have been the case, right? But we, of course, we're not really thinking about it like that. We're just thinking, you know what I mean, Niantic, Capcom, hear our cries, right? Like, you know, or that they're money hungry, which that was the other thing we talked about. And from what he was saying, Capcom is the type of company that they're not trying to make more money than they need to. But Niantic might be on the other hand. I'm not gonna go ahead and fucking say Niantic isn't money hungry, because we already know from Pokemon Go that that's what they wanted. But he also mentioned that this game is their most successful game since Pokemon Go, as far as Niantic goes. Like, you have Pokemon Go, you got the couple of fucking games in between that I guess none of them did very good. The Harry Potter one, Jurassic Park, or whatever, stuff like that. And from what my buddy was saying, you know, this being their next successful game, he feels like they're trying to do what they can to take it and run with it. But he doesn't believe Capcom feels the same way. Which means Capcom is trying to satisfy just the overall player base, which is not the United States, apparently. And I mean, that's okay. I'm not sitting here knocking that decision. It's more of a, from what he was saying, like, it's more of just something they've always done. They're not going to change their ways. They know they're, you know, there's a certain player base that likes their games, and they're going to make money from their games and sell the games, or have people playing the games, and they're happy with that. But what's not, to me, okay in that sense is this whole, like, you know, people, they keep saying, like, they're trying to do what's best for the game itself. And in my opinion, the longevity of the game depends on how many people are able to consistently play the game every day. Like shout out my homie Hunter's Notes that I watch, not a friend of mine, but the dude I watch, one of the people I watch on YouTube. There's a couple people, Hunter's Notes, Power Plays Gaming. You know, I wasn't really big on Kingdom Charmanders, but I've never had to actually watch his videos, and then, you know, a few people recommended him. I've checked him out as well. And there's a couple of smaller channels that I personally follow that also follow me and stuff like that. And I think the main thing that they're missing right now is the fact that they could have this whole player base, not just 60% or 70% or 80% fully interested in the game, enough to play the game every day. Not just every day, but like every time they get the chance to play. That's, I mean, like, when it comes to these, like, GPS games, I feel like that's a big sell. You're on the phone, your phone's with you all the time. You open it up, and, like, you know, the guy Hunter's Notes said, you know, when DLs were unnerfed, you're able to open the game up, and there's certain things around that you're going to push to get to. You know, like in my neighborhood right now, I got 1, 2, 3 DL links that are close enough that I can actually walk to. But if I was, you know, if it wasn't the Nerf, I could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and possibly 8 group hunts. All within my range, all within my neighborhood, without having to actually physically get in the car, drive around town, stop, use gas, do stuff like that, which I'm not really complaining about either, but, you know, you can only really do that kind of stuff so much. And I've always liked physically walking in the game and enjoying the game as a whole like that, and I try to do that as much as possible. And when the DLs were unnerfed, I did it more. It sucks. It sucks, and I can't. I thought that the range originally wasn't as bad as it was. I'm not gonna lie. And then it kicked in the next day, and it was crazy. I just, I'm sure it gives some of these people that are lower level no motivation to play the game, or even try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could, when the DLs were unnerfed, anywhere you went, you were getting join requests. And I understand that that created a problem within, you know, Japan players and stuff that had 65 local players when they were playing everywhere. Because it's a dense population. It's a dense area. It's a city. You know, people don't all live in cities. I mean, I'm here in Georgia. I know, you know, the guy, Hunter's Notes, I think it's North Carolina. I'm pretty positive that he's in. There's a handful of really active local players in places that don't have consistent local hunts. But I've like I said, group play was a big part of this game for me. So I was like, make a Facebook group, get people out there, make events, go out. And then the game started coming out with events. And then they fixed group play, and then they fixed some other stuff. And it became a lot easier to play the game. But when the DLs were unnerfed, it felt like the game was whole. It felt like it was complete. It did not feel like there was something that needed to be done in the game. They've done so much for this game, and I really, really feel like it's gone a long way since, you know, last year, whenever it was. I know it's been about a year now, going on whatever, maybe over a year, but when I started, that was my favorite thing to do, is find somewhere to play, go out, hunt. I went to downtown Wander, and you know, I walked around and I found one hunter real early in the game. And then same thing with a park that now is the best park that we go to. You know, it's like our favorite spot. And it's a big park, and there's lots of hunts, and there's lots of different biomes. There's something you could get anytime you need on a quest, kind of a thing. You know, you could just grind and grind for hours, it feels like, without ever it being boring. But when DLs were the thing, holy shit, not only could you grind the park, but you barely even had to move from where you were at in the park. You could do a small circle. We loved exploring the park, and we used to walk for miles and just go and go and go. But it gets tiring, and sometimes you don't have all the time in the world to do that. You know, especially when you guys make the time to meet up together and stuff. But once we had those DLs, we were able to either sit at one spot, do tracked and paintball hunts, like the Palico paintballs and the tracked hunts. And then, you know, we weren't in a party, so we could do the local hunts sent to each other, plus our DLs. And we do them separately if there's two of us. And it's just constant hunts, man. Constant hunts. And that's where I feel like they need to be focusing in this game. They need to understand that people will play this game, and people love playing this game, but they're going to play it more when they have the ability to play it more. All these people that didn't have local people had people to play with because of DL hunts. The thought process of taking DL hunts away because people weren't doing as many local hunts is unfair to that community, when half, if not more, don't even have local hunters. That's a stupid, stupid, stupid decision. Sorry, but it is. And that's one thing that Zach brought up. Hunter's Notes, again, shout out. Which my buddy, we were talking about as well, is 2 different invites. And he had the best idea of, you know, the teal invite and the orange invite. And if they could think about what that would do for the game, and the fact that people hunting constantly is what this game needs for its longevity, they'll realize that that really is what the game fucking needs. You need to be able to have the ability to play all the time without constantly running around. I'm completely for moving around in this game. That's why I'm anti-spoofer. I'm not really into that whole, you know, thing. And Pokemon Go, people that play Pokemon Go, I mean, so many people got onto spoofing because they got bored with the game of sitting around and just going to their local area. Go over to fucking Japan and it was so lit. So lit. And you see it all the time. People talk about it. I mean, it's just more to do. And that's not what I want for this game. I want people to actually be... That's the whole point. Like, why have a mobile Monster Hunter game if we're not going out to hunt together? I just don't understand it. But anyways, let's get off of that subject and go get a couple hunts in today, I guess. Thank you guys. Have a good day.